Alright, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to today's video and welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a makeup and mystery, and I officially started posting on my gaming channel named after Kai Streams. Hopefully there's no mean comments because kind of like, it's just meant to be fun. That's all we're doing, is it's meant to be fun. But anyways, this is my beauty channel, and it's makeup and mystery day. So, we're going to be covering the case of Nancy Kerrigan and Tonya Harding. So I actually watched the movie I, Tonya, which is Tonya Harding's, basically her life story in her eyes. And like, it's supposed to be her view of what happened in the attack, but she said she had nothing to do with it. If you want a review of the movie I, Tonya from me, then I'm gonna have to go ahead and say I don't think that it is actually a good movie. I think that it's honestly quite mediocre. It isn't the story I think is the truth. I think that Tonya Harding did have something to do with the attack on Nancy Kerrigan, but that's my opinion. I think that that's actually how most people feel, is that Tonya Harding had something to do with the attack on Nancy Kerrigan, and we're going to go ahead and get into that. I am using the Wikipedia page in case you guys are curious, so I will reference the Wikipedia page in the description box if I remember to. Please just remind me if you want me to, and I will go back and edit it. So, Nancy Kerrigan is an American former figure skater who in January of 1994 was about to take part in the United States Figure Skating Championships in Detroit, Michigan, and her main rival in the tournament was Tonya Harding. So the person who had everything to gain was Tonya Harding. And it says that days before the tournament took place, which I don't know how many days. I had heard it was 3 days. But she underwent obviously an attack happened. So as Nancy Kerrigan was walking down like one of the hallways of the like the arena where the tournament was, because I'm pretty sure it happened before she was supposed to like skate. I didn't say that on the Wikipedia page. This is just what I'm going off of, what I believe happened in the movie. She was attacked from behind with a baton thing, like it's a. I'll say it later. I'll look it up. But she was attacked from behind, and it really hurt. Like, it obviously really hurt her. And one of the most famous things that is about this case is that she was caught on camera screaming, "Why?" And I remember watching an interview Nancy Kerrigan did about this like a couple years ago, and she said, I think that screaming out why was a completely normal thing to ask, which I think she's right. So from what I read, Tonya actually won that tournament, but she didn't win the Olympics. And February was also going to be when the Winter Olympics took place, because this is like when they did the split from the summer to the Winter Olympics. So she had a second chance to compete, and at that time Nancy Kerrigan had actually made a full recovery, and a lot of people were like very invested in it because I think a lot of people believed that it was Tonya who had done something done to Nancy Kerrigan, even though at the time nobody, like, it had not been solved yet. And basically people were curious, like it was kind of like drama filled, like Tonya Harding had something done to her most competitive rival, and you know, people were interested to see, like, would Tonya Harding have won back then if Nancy Kerrigan hadn't been injured? Now enter Jeff Gillooly. I don't know if I said that right. This is Tonya Harding's now ex-husband. However, at the time of the attack, they were still together, and they still did refer to each other as husband and wife. The movie didn't actually depict this correctly, in my opinion, because the movie depicted it as, at this time, they were actually separated. But the Wikipedia page does say that they were referring to each other as husband and wife. So, Sean Eckhart was a friend of Gillooly's, who was Tonya Harding's husband, and he was also Tonya Harding's bodyguard before the attack. And on the Wikipedia page, it says that she had hired him when she received death threats. But I don't remember them covering that in the movie. This name is going to come up a few times, so just remember it. Shane Stant, I hope I'm saying that right, later testified that Harding was part of staging the death threat against herself, which Tonya Harding had a lot to do with the movie I, Tonya, so if that was true, I would understand why she didn't want to cover it in her movie. Okay, so here's another name that you'll remember during the attack. Derek Smith, an associate of Eckhart, the bodyguard, was paid originally $6,500 to carry out the attack. Eckhart had received the money from Galuli, Tonya Harding's husband, and Shane Stant, who was Derek Smith's nephew, initially planned to carry out the attack by himself and had traveled to Kerrigan's home rink in Cape Cod in late December 1993, but was unable to locate her, which kind of makes me wonder, like, how different this would have turned if he had been able to locate her. Okay, so this next part is a little confusing, but after he was unable to locate her at her home rink, he then followed Kerrigan, stalker, to the Nationals in Detroit in early January 1994. And, so the Wikipedia says that, Tonya's husband, Galuli, I hope I'm saying that right, did not want to carry out the attack in Detroit because he felt that, it was too risky that they would get caught. So the Wikipedia says that he instructed Eckhart to wire Stant funds to return home without carrying out the attack, but instead Eckhart is a dumbass, apparently, wired funds to Smith, Derek Smith, who then traveled to join Stant in Detroit. And then Stant and Smith then planned to carry out the attack together, which is the attack we are talking about on Nancy Kerrigan that took her out of action for a while because she had a knee injury because they whacked her with like a baton bat thingy. So the movie does portray Sean Eckhart as this fat, lazy dumbass, which he kind of does seem to be, like, this fat, lazy dumbass. But it's hard to say, honestly. Because I don't know if we should really believe that Galuli wanted them to not carry out the attack. What if he actually had told Sean Eckhart to wire Smith the funds? Because, I mean, like, it would look a little bit less suspicious if two guys were caught planning the attack on Nancy Kerrigan than if one guy was, to be completely honest. Because, like, who would hire two, like, basically hitmen to attack Nancy Kerrigan? You would only really want to hire one. So now let's talk about the attack. So if you're curious about this, you can actually look up interviews that Shane Stant has done publicly, and he really does give out quite a bit of information about the attack and just like the backstory and like everything about it, which I find really intriguing if this is something that you are interested in. So the attack obviously is pretty famous. There's actually, you know, camera films of that time of Nancy Kerrigan being like injured. But Shane Stant said that he pulled out a telescopic baton. I told you guys it was a baton of some kind. Just can't remember what. And he struck her in the lower right thigh and then walked away. And he had then escaped from the arena by smashing through a locked glass door. Smith was wearing a cap, that's the uncle, in a car outside and acted as a getaway driver. So, I mean, like, it makes sense. It makes more sense for both of the men to be there during the attack, which is why I just, like, don't believe that Jeff Galuli didn't want the attack to happen. It just makes more sense. So, Tonya Harding had originally claimed that she knew nothing about the attack and that She had absolutely nothing to do with it, and that's like where the testimony kind of goes. And I think that like the FBI kind of really quickly zeroed in on Tonya Harding because they were such bitter rivals. And I really can't read anything else. I don't read anything else on the Wikipedia page about other suspects. Now, they were able to put 2 and 2 together, especially after they got Shane Stant and they got Derek Smith, and they obviously had the money transfers and stuff like that, because, I mean, police aren't stupid. And, I mean, like, they were not careful. But with Shane's testimony about Tonya, because he still to this day says Tonya had a hand in planning the attack. I don't think that they knew when it was going to go down, was the issue. So, after all that, the FBI was able to indict Tonya, and Tonya did take a plea deal. And on March 16th, 1994, she took a plea deal. It was a couple months after my brother was born. Crazy. In 2018, she said she had prior knowledge of Gulili and Eckhart discussing taking out one of her competitors in late 1993. Harding said she protested that she wanted to win fairly and asked them what they were talking about. True. So it's actually, like, there is a lot of evidence out there that Tonya not only helped with this attack and knew about it beforehand, but she got information like Nancy Kerrigan's home rink. You know, things like that. So it's not just Shane. Like, there's a lot of evidence out there against her. I do want to go ahead and put out there that still to this day in interviews, she does deny having knowledge about the attack. So in Jeff Louie's FBI testimony, he does state that he had said something about Nancy Kerrigan getting injured, like an attack on Nancy Kerrigan, and he said that Tonya Harding said that that was a good idea. Now, I understand that this is her ex-husband, and he may have reasons to hurt her and lie, but there are other people out there with evidence against her that really coordinate the story of Jeff Gillooly. Not to mention, Shane Stant really had nothing to gain from anybody. He just was telling the truth, basically. I really think that Shane Stant was kind of like, he knew he got caught, and he just wanted to tell the truth, but at the same time, he was kind of like, you know what, I'm taking all y'all motherfuckers down with me. Which, I think a lot of people in his situation probably would have did the same thing. So there is FBI testimony by Vera Morano, who was interviewed by the FBI and said she worked as a freelance writer and had written some figure skating articles about Harding, regularly trading phone calls with her. Morano stated that Harding had phoned her about a bet regarding Nancy Kerrigan. She said Harding then asked for the name of Kerrigan's training rink and also wanted to know if Kerrigan owned property in Cape Cod, which there's some evidence against her. I mean, Vera Morano, I don't think had any reason to lie and hurt Tonya, really. So in case you are curious, I am wearing Tiger Lily blush today. Yes, Kai broke my mirror. It's a problem, but it's okay. You know, to be completely honest, once the police had them, I mean, they had them. I mean, like, the pieces just kind of started to fall together. You can definitely look it up on the Wikipedia page, because there is a lot of information about each individual person's testimony in this. Like, I mean, there's Sean Eckhart, there's Derek Smith, there's Shane Stant, Vera Morano. I just think that, like, this was honestly a very sloppily planned out attack, and unfortunately, poor Nancy Kerrigan was the one who had to, like, who got injured. I mean, like, it seemed like not only was Tonya and Nancy rivals, but they seemed to be, like, really just rivals and enemies. Because, I mean, Tonya Harding had a tough life. Nancy Kerrigan had kind of everything. Like, when you look into Nancy Kerrigan's background and Tonya Harding's background, there is serious difference. The aftermath of this was very severe. I mean, Tonya was literally banned from ever doing U.S. figure skating again, like professionally. Like she was banned, which I don't think that they should have been able to do that. It's kind of sad that I like this shade in here better for a highlighter than an eyeshadow. So the sentences was Gillooly and Eckhart had pled guilty to racketeering, while Stant and Smith pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit second-degree assault. Eckhart had died in 2007, and Tonya Harding did plead guilty to conspiracy to hinder prosecution as a Class C felony offense at a Multnomah, I don't know, county court hearing. Again, I did say that, like, the disciplinary that she faced from the figure skating community was that she could never compete professionally in figure skating ever again. Which is kind of harsh. Well, here's something interesting. So on March 21st, 1994, a Portland grand jury issued an indictment stating there was evidence Harding participated in the attack plot, which we know she did. I mean, she denies it, but we know she did it. The indictment included more than 2 months of investigation and witness testimony from Diane Rawlinson, Harding's choreographer Erica Beckat's freelance figure skating writer Vera Morano, and Eckhart's college instructor and classmates. But she was not charged in the indictment due to the terms of her March 16th plea agreement. Okay, so that kind of makes sense. You can't be charged twice for the same crime once you already have, like, you've been found, like, not guilty or guilty. Like, you can, obviously, like, it's hard to explain. So you can appeal a guilty plea, and they can retry you, but they can't, like, add new evidence. Like, they can't try you again. I apologize, you guys. It is nap time for Jackson, so I'm going to go ahead and have to end this video here, and I have to go lay him down. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys!